I get to introduce my buddy Brent today. Those of you who've been with us in the past, occasionally we have a guest appearance by Brent Baum. He's our Chief Strategy Officer, and I like to brag on Brent. He's also my buddy from my years working in entertainment and doing my attempt at creating movies. I've made 3. I badly wanted to make movies, and I badly made 3. And Brent was a much more talented compadre in some of those adventures. I have to brag on Brent just for a second before you talk, Brent. Let's go one more slide. Brent, by the way, when I first met him, he was entirely in the motion picture industry and kind of thought theater was he was not interested in it. Well, he found religion, especially during COVID. And now Brent had a lot to do with a brand new production called Lost Boys. And doggone it, you had 17 Emmy, Tony nominations. And I think you won 4 Tonys over the weekend, Brent. So
4 Tonys.
I thought what better time than now to have you jump on the call and share a few thoughts with us. But brother, congratulations on that. I was cheering in front of the TV on your behalf.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's always good to be with you guys, and thank you so much for that. I always love when I get a chance to be with the team over at Oliabo. It's funny, Gordon, because you mentioned this, and it really, I see a lot of parallels. And one of the things that we were talking about in our board meeting, and I'll say this every time. I believe repetition is really important, but every time I get to spend time in the Oliabo office, and as a board member, I'm up there at least once a month, and as a member of the team, I'm up there a little bit more frequently than maybe even other board members. But I wish you guys could see the magic that I see when I go there. And this is, it's kind of funny because we used to, we all tease each other, and one of the things that's fun about that is that I look at Oliabo and I see momentum in business, and there are parallels, Gordon, to what we were talking about just last week. And one of the funny things is these Tony Awards came up, and like Gordon says, a few years ago, I was strictly a movie guy, and I'd spent 30 years in the movies. And all of a sudden, our little 2-year-old company is nominated for Tony Awards. And more importantly, we won a few just last week. And so one of the things, it really made me start to think a lot about Oliabo and what's happening there. And one of the things that I thought about was that if my 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old company can start from scratch and win Tony Awards, then there's opportunity for every company. And what does it take? And this is what we were talking about, Gordon. We were talking about risk and effort and desire. But the one thing that separates all of this to me is vision. You have to see yourself in that place where you can win a Tony, where you can be successful in business. Remember, this Tony Award thing is just a metaphor for business, right? And I'm lucky enough to have lived it. And people can come on here and they can tell stories about others and what they've experienced. I'm telling you right now, in as polite a way as possible, what I experienced. And I see that same thing happening at Oliabo.
You started like this thing the same time as Oliabo. Well, a little bit before Oliabo, because I had to con you into helping us with this. And you were engaged, and this thing's already won Tonys.
And this is what I'm getting at, Gordon, is that I'm part of Oliabo because this team has vision. I've spent 30 plus years in entertainment. My job is never to make that particular movie or make that particular show. My job is to assess those talented people who have vision. And when I see that, I back them up. I back them up with support, with capital, with my time, so that we can go out and we can be successful. And that's what I see here at Oliabo. A couple of old friends come together and they say to me, we have an idea, and what I see is vision. And to me, that's the most important of all these things that we've been talking about, Gordon. And this team has vision. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm on the board, and that's why I want to duplicate the same success that I'm having in other companies. So that's, and you hit on it. why Broadway, right? Why all of a sudden Broadway? Why I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't do any of that. So just to make it clear, please, no one asked me to sing, okay? Not my world. Well, I guess it is now, but not the singing and dancing part. But the thing that really came across was a couple of years ago after COVID, and with the advent of artificial intelligence, some of our investors came to us and they said, are you seeing the statistics that we're seeing? And I said, what are you talking about? And they said, oh, movies are dead, entertainment's dead. And I said, I think quite the opposite. Give us a few months. Let's look at this again. And sure enough, things started to turn around. Every metric by which we measure entertainment is changing. People are dropping their phones because they want a collective experience. The youngest generation is going to the movies more than the two generations before them. The young demographic in Broadway is massive and outpaces every other demographic. Well, what does that mean? What we're finding in all of the studies is that people crave connection, the power of gathering together. And so when I look at this in our business, in entertainment and in Broadway and what we're doing there, it's the same thing that's happening here at Oliabo. People want to gather. They want to share an experience. Oliabo is a company that presents that. So not only am I working with a team that has immense vision and talent, but also they're a team that is on the right side of a demographic shift that can be very, very important for momentum in business. And that demographic shift is that people want to share stories. They want to get back together. They want to talk about life, what is good for them, what made them laugh, what tastes great, what helped them. These are the things that people want to hear and see and not do it alone on a phone. So I'm extremely positive about what we have in front of us at Oliabo. I love coming here to chat with you. I know I talk way over the allotted time that you give me every time, but I hope that you can see my enthusiasm for the opportunity that we have in front of us. And if I can go and win a Tony in 18 months, imagine the kind of business that you can build with an organization like Oliabo behind you.
Brent, you're the best. I just got to point out to folks too, who are new to this energy orbit. So Brent was my quick capsule summary of Brent is not the only way I can do it. Brent's like, don't tell my CV again. I'm like, well, I'm gotta. When there's a company called DreamWorks, it was started in 91, Brent, 92. Yeah. Brent got a call. He was working in New York City and he got headhunted. He was part of the founding five, the first 5 employees that started DreamWorks. So I asked him, my question was, you were number 5 and was the first 3 Spielberg, Geffen, and Katzenberg? He's like, no, that's not how it works. they founded it. There wasn't even the word DreamWorks. And so Brent built that. When he eventually left DreamWorks, started his own studio, made movies. But when he saw things changing during COVID, he took added a new dimension to his entertainment CV. And the same thing with what we're doing here with Oliabo. We have seasoned vets here that have done nutritional supplements or direct selling or functional foods. And we just added a new element of technology. What Brent was talking about with technology didn't kill entertainment, it killed elements of it, but in many ways, it actually was a multiplier of that as well. So Brent, thank you, brother. Appreciate you taking some time today. And
my pleasure. Always good to be with you guys.
One day we'll get you chatting about what it's like to have dinner with Steven Spielberg flying to Japan. So anyway, all right,
there are
brother.
stories to tell, but more importantly, you guys have a story to tell, and that's why I'm here today, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can.
Amen. Thank you, brother. Okay. Oh, look at Brent.
And Gord.
Tony.
Oh,
yes,
that's
Joe.
cool. That's cool.
I love that.
I wanted